What's up? Welcome into the Woody Hayes Athletic Center. There's just one day until Ohio State, Notre Dame, 7:30 inside the Horseshoe on Saturday night. Matt Parker here. Tim May, you all know him. He's been here for 40 years. This is Spencer Holbrook. This is Lettermen Row, and this is 4 Downs, gentlemen. We're going to pick 4 things about this game. We're going to pick a bold prediction, the offensive player of the game, the defensive player of the game. I don't care which side you pick that for, Notre Dame or Ohio State. And then we're going to give a game pick. I'm going to put you guys on the spot. That's going to be the format of our Friday show from now on here in this regular season, 12 weeks. Matt, I'm going to throw it to you first. A bold prediction for Ohio State, Notre Dame. It can be as bold and spicy as you want it to be. It can be as mellow as you want it to be. What do you got?
Right off the bat, it's going to be Ohio State on the ground, 250 yards. All along, you've heard Ohio State, the defense this, the defense that, and how great this offense is. But there's been talk about this offensive line. They have something to prove. And what better defensive line on their schedule than week 1, this team? So I expect and am predicting 250 yards on the ground.
Wow. Okay. That's a pretty good start to the season as far as bold predictions are concerned. Tim.
Oh, I'm next. Emeka Egbuka, who is one of my favorite players on this team. I don't know if people have caught on to that or not, but will score at least 2 touchdowns in this game. But will they both be pass receptions? Remember, he returns kickoffs. So
I do remember that.
And Ohio State has not returned a kickoff for a touchdown since 2010. So will it be a touchdown? I'm not sure I'm going to step off on that gangplank. But Emeka Egbuka will score at least 2 touchdowns. But will they both be pass touchdowns? That remains to be seen.
I have been thinking a lot about this matchup, and there's one aspect of the Jim Knowles defense that we don't talk about a lot, and that is that he is sending pressure from every angle. You know, we talk a lot about the safeties and
sometimes
and the defensive line getting after it, but those linebackers are as aggressive as you will find in the country. And that jack spot is a roaming spot that will cause problems for an offensive line. This Notre Dame offensive line is good, and that's why I think this is really bold. I think Ohio State will force 2 Tyler Buckner fumbles in this game on sacks. This is a first-time starting quarterback who people at Notre Dame are even kind of not skeptical, but a little curious to see how good he is with the ball in his hands, throwing the football. He's also a runner.
Yeah.
So it could happen, on the ground. But if Zach Harrison, Tyleik Williams, if some of those defensive tackles, Jack Sawyer, JT Tuimoloau, and even the linebackers get to him, there are times where quarterbacks can, get jittery, lose the football. I don't know if Ohio State will recover both of them. I think they will, because those scramble drills, Ohio State's pretty athletic in getting to the football. I think they're going to force 2 fumbles, and that'll be what puts this game away for Ohio State.
2 fumbles from Buckner.
Yeah, from Buckner. And
okay.
And you'll get my score prediction here in just a few minutes, but I think I
guarantee you he runs the ball, though, because that's the way you get a young quarterback acclimated, is do what he can do that sets him a little bit apart so he can get his feet under him, so to speak. You got to do that when you run, Matt.
That is
but
true.
I could see maybe that happening.
All right, Matt, second down. Let's say 7. Offensive player of the game. Let's hear it.
Well, 2nd and 7, Ohio State, like they do on 1st and 10, it doesn't really matter the down. They like to throw the ball. And they have a Heisman Trophy candidate quarterback in C.J. Stroud coming back with a lot of expectations. And it's got to be the quarterback. It's got to be the quarterback, C.J. Stroud.
All right, he took the layup, Tim. Who do you got?
Yeah, he did take the layup.
Offensive player of the game.
I went real bold on the first quarter, on the first down. So
I'm
second
gonna
down, got to be conservative.
I'm not going to go just stat wise. I think Donovan Jackson is ready to rock and roll at guard. He won't get offensive player. He might get lineman of the game. We'll see if they even give that out. But I like Donovan Jackson debuting as a starter at guard, a full-time starter. I just like what he brings, man, and getting out on the edge if CJ needs some protection out on the edge or whatever they're going to run, the exotic stuff on the inside the tackles and stuff, and him pulling. And I just like Donovan Jackson a lot, so I'm going to go with him. He may be my offensive MVP no matter what anybody else says.
So, guys, I've been hearing a lot about an Iron Buckeye in this building, a guy who has paid his dues the last 2 years, came in very highly touted, and just it hasn't really come together for him yet. But Julian Fleming was a 5-star talent, was a top 10 overall player in the country regardless of position for a reason. And with the work ethic and the amount of work that he's put in this offseason and the training camp that he's had, Julian Fleming is going to be the offensive player of the game for this game. Notre Dame will do everything it possibly can to stop the run and not let Jackson Smith-Njigba beat it. If you want to take Jackson Smith-Njigba away, good luck, first of all. Second of all, if you accomplish it, other guys are going to be there. Marvin Harrison Jr. is a great pick for this too, but Julian Fleming is going to be my pick for offensive player of the game. Does that mean he catches 2 touchdowns? I don't know. But if you need a drive extender, there's a reliable guy right there who you know you can trust. CJ Stroud knows you can trust. And Julian Fleming is going to have a major impact on this game. Now we're going to flip over to the defensive side, Matt, and you're going to give us a defensive player of the game.
Is it third down?
It's third down.
Okay.
What's the distance?
Who cares? Third and 3.
Third and 2, really?
Yeah, there you go.
Well,
Make that call, man.
this is why they don't pay me $2 million something to coach the defense like they do Jim Knowles.
That's true.
But I will say, good on good in this situation on 3rd and 2. You're going to see Notre Dame probably run the ball in this situation, and you want your guys in the trenches to really stop that.
He's stealing your guy.
Maybe.
I don't know. We'll see. This is a name that you guys had mentioned before. This is a name that we've heard this entire offseason.
He's going to mention your guy.
I'm going to go with Jack Sawyer.
Oh, no, that's not your guy.
Not my guy.
That's your guy.
No, but he wants Jack Sawyer. What is Jack going to do to make some defensive player of the game?
I think you're going to see him come off the edges a lot. And it doesn't necessarily matter the play or the down and distance like this 3rd and 2. But we have heard a lot of conversation about this Jack position, this mysterious overhanging linebacker position. He certainly has the size, he has the frame, but he also has the speed. Despite his size, he's deceptively quick. He's very fast off the edges, and he can make plays from depth. And I think that's going to be something really interesting to watch if we do get to see it. This mysterious Jack position that has been talked about since Knowles was brought in January.
Yeah.
We're finally going to get to see it potentially on Saturday. And I like Jack Sawyer to be in that position and make some plays to put himself as defensive player.
Can I have co-players of the game? Or just, no, yeah.
Tim.
Just one, right?
Tim, you're the emeritus. You can do what you want.
Notre Dame is bound and determined to come in here according to their head coach and establish the run, because everything emanates from establishing the run, just like with Ohio State, just like my man 250 over here, Mr. 250. If you get that going, everything else opens wide. I'm going to go with the Rose Bowl defensive MVP, Tommy Eichenberg, seeing a lot of action early, making an impact, meaning they're going to run the ball at them. Now you got to stop them. This defense has worked really hard about keeping the linebackers clean. He and Steele Chambers could really go off on Saturday. We'll see who else gets to play there, but I really like Tommy Eichenberg to make his mark just like he did in the second half of that Rose Bowl. I kept that short.
You did, and I'm proud of you for that, too.
To see if you can do the same thing.
I'm going to go with Cameron Brown. Notre Dame's going to have to throw the ball. They're going to have to. And whether that's to Michael Mayer or whether that's to a receiver, I have confidence that Jim Knowles knows what he's going to be doing against Michael Mayer. Notre Dame's going to have to find, whether that's Lorenzo Styles Jr. or Tobias Merriweather, the true freshman. Cameron Brown's going to be put in a lot of situations where he's on an island. Yeah. And so is Denzel Burke, but I know that Denzel Burke has the capabilities of doing that. For all the hype about Cameron Brown, he's been hurt for a lot of his career. He was on a pitch count in training camp. I've firsthand knowledge that he's tired of that pitch count and he's ready to be done with it. Yeah. He wants to be on the field every down.
Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play.
He wants to be able to make plays, and I think he will make plays. I'm not going to call for interceptions or pick sixes or anything like that, but Cameron Brown is the kind of player who can take your defense from very good to elite, because you can't just have one good corner in Denzel Burke. You've got to have a second guy. He's a senior. He's a guy who's got a lot to prove still. I think he's going to be able to start on the right foot. Maybe that's a couple pass deflections. He's going to have a good game. I think he's going to be my defensive player of the game.
My pick was a mail-in ballot. I have the right to change it if I want to. And
go ahead.
If Tanner McAllister or Lathan Ransom, whoever ends up seeing a lot of action over Michael Mayer, their incredibly talented tight end, whoever works hardest to neutralize him, at least in this game, he could end up being my MVP. Because I really think they're going to be looking at him a lot. I'm talking about Mayer. If Ohio State figures out a way to neutralize or at least keep him under control, that will be my MVP.
Well, that's why
defensive MVP.
That's why we'll do another video on the turf in Ohio Stadium after the game. We'll be able to give out more MVPs.
Then that turf is better now, so it'll be fun to stand on.
Matt,
it's just like this, by the way.
It is time, Matt. We're going to give score predictions here. If they're wrong, you can email him at matt.parker@on3.com. Because if he's wrong, then you can tell him that you lost a lot of money, maybe even the mortgage on his game pick. So, Matt, without any pressure, further pressure, go ahead. Let's hear it. Your score prediction for Ohio State Notre Dame, number 2 versus number 5 in the Horseshoe on Saturday night.
I'm going to say 45-20 Ohio State. One of those touchdowns scored by Ohio State. This might be a first quarter, first down kind of territory, but there's a defensive touchdown in that 45.
What about my Emeka Egbuka thing about it maybe being a kickoff return?
Well, maybe that's in there too.
You know,
okay.
Maybe.
So it could be 52 is what you're saying?
Could be.
No, I'm messing
Who's
with
to
you.
say?
Who's
Yeah.
to say?
Well,
Right now, actually, it is me right now, this second, making my prediction. But I am saying 45-20, Ohio State over Notre Dame. Defensive touchdown somewhere in the mix.
That was
Tim.
going to be my score. I'm going to go with Ohio State. I don't think Ohio State gets into the 40, so why not 45? Noah Ruggles field goal, 45, and Notre Dame will find some ways to score. The thing about this Jim Knowles defense is it's given up some plays in the past.
It has.
And it will give up some plays on Saturday. This is not going to be a perfect thing, but they're going to make plays, which is going to set it apart.
That defensive touchdown.
Exactly. So, and this man predicting 2 fumbles, 2 fumbles by their quarterback. Well, that doesn't just happen out of thin air.
Right.
So I could see 45-20. Let's go with some oddball number 23.
Okay. All right, Tim. I like it. I like where your head's at. I'm going to go Ohio State 51. I think this is going to be a tough time for Notre Dame to slow down. When Ryan Day likes to say when talent equates, that's when you know who you are.
Yes.
Talent does equate in the front 7. I will give Notre Dame all the credit in the world that they have recruited at a very high level.
Yes.
On both offensive and defensive line.
This isn't Arkansas State coming in here.
The defensive trenches, Notre Dame is very good. The linebacker spots, Notre Dame is very good. Can you, for 60 minutes, defend the wide receivers that Ohio State has? Because C.J. Stroud will make you pay if you can't.
Do you keep C.J. Stroud clean? That's the big deal.
I can't see.
You just talked about the lines there.
I can't see a scenario where Notre Dame is able to slow down Ohio State for full quarters. I think Ohio State will get to 50 points. I think it'll be 51. I'm going to give Notre Dame 28, whether that's 50, 51, 21 late and Notre Dame scores a touchdown. This game will be good for 2 quarters and some change. But when Ohio State really starts to wear down what Notre Dame wants to do, then you start to get a little dicey because Notre Dame doesn't have a lot of confidence in that first-time quarterback to throw the ball around the yard. C.J. Stroud, on the other hand, can do that. And so I'm going to take a pick and go 51-28 Ohio State. The Buckeyes will win. They will cover that spread. I think that's a cover. That's a cover.
You know what?
This is a cover.
Could really tilt this game on its ear is if C.J. Stroud takes off running at least once when they turn their back on him, takes off running at least once, maybe twice. He's 220 pounds now. He's a big dude. He's a load. He can run when he wants to, as we all saw in that Michigan State game 2 years ago. That could really flip this game, but I could get it to 51.
Matt, I'm going to give you a bonus, a little overtime. Tim, we'll exclude both of us from this because this is his area of expertise, but we've got to get a little bit in here. Matt, yes or no, I don't need who it is because we don't want to spoil announcements or anything. Will the Buckeyes earn a commitment from a visit from this game?
Yes.
Okay.
And will it be a big time commitment? Meaning, how many stars are involved?
I'll say big time, yes, but a 4-star, not a 5-star.
4 stars are big time.
Yeah.
Big time, highly rated 4-star.
And we're not going to say who that is. We actually have no inside knowledge of who it could be, but we're just saying, yes, there will be a commit based on this. There are simply too many guys here. Matt, we'll have full coverage of that at lettermenrow.com of the massive recruiting weekend, the massive just weekend in general. College game day is here. The bright lights are going to be on Ohio Stadium, the 100th anniversary of the Horseshoe, the 20th anniversary of the national championship team. Tim, Spencer, Matt, we'll all 3 be there in the Horseshoe on Saturday night for that big matchup. Ohio State moving to 1-0 according to all 3 of us. Let us know what you think in the comments. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check us out on the message board, the Lettermen Lounge. We will see you in the Horseshoe tomorrow night for full coverage of Ohio State and Notre Dame.